Each year as we enter the month of Adar, or in a year like this year with a leap year as we enter the second month of Adar, you can feel the excitement and the buzz in the air as people anticipate and we get closer to the holiday of Purim. And while this is probably not the appropriate forum for me to remind you to RSVP for the BSBI Purim party on Purim Day, March 17th, I would like to remind you about two other commandments, two other mitzvahs on Purim Day, which in addition to reading the Megillah and the Purim party here at BSBI, we have the mitzvah of Mishloach Manos, sending gifts to one another, and Matanos La'avyonim, giving charity to the poor. And while it's true that these two mitzvahs are mentioned in the text of the Megillah and the book of Esther itself, they do seem a little bit odd, a little bit strange, and perhaps even a little bit random that these commandments are associated with the holiday of Purim. Of course, it's always nice to give people gifts. It's always nice to support the poor. But why exactly are these major details and worthy of mitzvahs, commandments, on the holiday of Purim? I saw a beautiful suggestion by Rav Shmuel Uzida, who lived in the 16th century, who points out that if you look at the decree of Haman and you read the Purim story, you realize that everything is flipped. Everything that happens at the beginning of the story is reversed as we read the end of the story. And the decree of Haman, originally, was not just to destroy the Jewish nation, not just to kill the men, women, and children, but he adds a detail, ushlalam lavoz, that their property, that their possessions should be plundered. And what Rav Uzida explains is what is the flip, what is the switch of our property being plundered? Giving generously to one another. That instead of the Jewish people having their property plundered, God forbid, instead they were giving generously to one another, supporting the poor. And as we enter the final 2 weeks and head towards Purim, I want to remind you about our Matanos La'avyonim campaign of collecting money for the poor, which each year we distribute to those in need in our community, as well as to the poor of Israel, our brothers and sisters in the land of Israel. And it's a very important commandment, a very important mitzvah of Purim, one that Maimonides writes is more important than all the other commandments of Purim. And as we get ready for the holiday of Purim, hopefully we are getting ready for the excitement, thinking about gifts to one another, getting ready with our costumes, but we should also make sure that we focus on this commandment and this ability to be able to give to one another, to be able to give to those who are in greatest need. And please see the information earlier in the buzz for how to send a check to the office in order to support those of our community and those in need in Israel as we enter this festive time of the year. Of course, as always, I wish you all a wonderful Shabbos, and I hope we continue to build on the excitement and have a wonderful Purim here in the Shul.